Welcome to another St. Pete by Night production. The following is rated for mature audiences and may contain graphic themes that will be distressing to some viewers. As always, we recommend you ensure the safety and well-being of yourself and those around you at all times. Viewer discretion is advised.
In the heart of night, we rise from shadows, howling at the moon, igniting our battles, cleansing Gaia of an endless fight, until our final days we will fight. Thanks, man, we stand united as one. Evil spirits lurking with horror and dread. Little light leads us where the brave dare tread. Glory and honor, wisdom in our hand. Together we rise, take our final stand. Everywhere we run, the wind is at our back. All the world's forces we will track. From the depths of the ocean to the clouds in the sky, vampires tremble as we learn to fight. Rage across Tampa, in this fight we'll stay. Evil spirits lurking with horror and dread. Little light leads us where the brave dare tread. Glory and honor, wisdom in our hand. Together we rise, take our final stand. Rage across Tampa, in this fight we'll stay. Everywhere with the pack, let the night be our guide. In battles of honor, we shall never hide. Fuck you, never hide.
Good evening and welcome to the St. Pete by Night Entertainment Network. St. Petersburg by Night is a World of Darkness role-playing community originating in St. Petersburg, Florida. My name is Kent, also known as Mishikent on all social media, and I will be your storyteller tonight. It's Friday night, and you know what that means. It's time for Hounds, our Werewolf the Apocalypse 5th edition chronicles set in Tampa Bay, Florida, where a pack of young guru have traveled from Michigan to assist the Sept of the Evening Star in combating the forces of the worm, both physical and spiritual. You can follow St. Pete by Night on all of the social media listed in the description down below, and you can join our community by following that Discord link where you could take part in one of the many activities we have running all month long. We are now offering for players to run or play in 20th anniversary or Chronicles of Darkness games as well, so head on over and join our community today. Now let's introduce our players. Players, go ahead and introduce yourselves if you please.
Hi everyone, I'm Nikki and I will be playing Delphine Gaia Speaker, the Silent Strider Theurge.
Hello everybody, my name is Jay, and Deltarune tomorrow is now Deltarune 2 days ago, and I'm excited for that. And I'll be playing Forge from Failures, Bodnar Rune.
Hi, I'm Navers. I play Quinn Kelly, the Ragabus Children of Gaia.
Hey everyone, my name is Ben. I'll be playing Raymond Gorn, the Ghost Council Philodox.
All right, so unless you've been living under a rock for the past couple of weeks, you would know that this is our season finale of Hellhounds, and that we are going to be off for the next 2 weeks. So I'm sure it'll be fine. I mean, Rage went by without any incident. Red Tide Rising is going to go by without any incident. So I'm sure this is just going to be a tame, totally relaxed session. But that being said, why don't we get everybody caught up as to where we are now? Last week, we saw Delphine confront Stakes Her Claim, their mentor and den mother, about whether or not Stakes knew about Juniper's more cannibalistic leanings. Stakes said that they had some suspicions, but nothing to prove, and that they weren't the kind to start throwing accusations around for no reason. This led to a very very heartwarming heart-to-heart between Delphine and Stakes, where Delphine relayed some of the trauma that she was feeling about this revelation regarding Juniper and how to move forward from here. We then saw Quinn give a call home to their uncle Eamon to check in and see how things are going. And beside the usual chatter, chiding the uncle for not eating healthy, Eamon warned of a potential storm coming, that feeling you get when you can smell a storm in the air, which gave a rather foreboding message to Quinn. After that, Forged checked in with their pack patron Ember and received some very helpful insight and advice about perspective, how you view things. Some could view their flame inside, their rage, as anger, but maybe it could also be viewed as hope for the future, hope for the fight. So this caused Forge to have to be introspective about Ember's words. And then finally, Raymond went to Anna Pelfrey looking for any advice she could give on how to handle this Matthias situation after his encounter with Matthias went not as good as planned. So Anna explained to Raymond maybe where some of those steps went wrong, and then they decided once and for all that they are going to go together to cleanse Matthias of the spirit. But what comes after, we'll just have to wait and see. So let's get our story started. Our story begins this evening in one of the most unlikely of places. Not unlikely because it's not been visited by the Guru before, but unlikely for Delphine specifically, because we find ourselves at the RV park and the home of Spud, her one-time drug dealer, the one that caused her to go down a very, very, very long and difficult road of addiction, and someone that she has been avoiding ever since getting clean, for good reason. But now she has questions about the castle, questions about the Vampire Society, questions only Spud can answer. So Delphine, I'd like to ask your thoughts going into this situation, as you are having to face down possibly one of your biggest challenges to your recovery yet.
She is very anxious. At NA meetings, they talk about how the first people you should cut contact with are enablers. And your drug dealer would definitely count as an enabler. And she has avoided Spud for over 9 months now. She was still skeletal looking. She still had long hair the last time she saw him. She's been through so much. She's done so much self-improvement. And a part of her brain just wonders, is that self-improvement going to be in jeopardy if she knocks on that door? She never deleted his phone number, and she knows she should have, but the bad part about addiction is that you always want to keep it in your back pocket just in case.
Okay. So as you arrive at the RV park, you can see the same glowing chili pepper lights surrounding the awning of the doorway that leads into the RV itself. You can see the same lights on throughout the RV. Everything feels so familiar and almost nostalgic at this point, having been, like you said, 9 months since the last time you were here. As that swelling anxiety starts to build inside of you, I'd like you to make a resolve and let's make a composure and resolve check.
What rage am I at?
You would be at rage 1. However, if you fail, that may go up.
I should be okay. That is 4 successes.
Yeah. So taking a steadying breath, you're able to settle that anxiety in your chest and your stomach, shove it all down. You're here for a very specific purpose, and that purpose is more than just your addiction. That purpose is more than just selfish desire. You're here because you need this information for the protection of your pack, for the protection of your sept, for the protection of what you have claimed to be your little piece of land known as Ybor City. Walking up to the doorway, you raise your hand and knock a couple of times. Inside of the trailer, you hear some rustling around as if you weren't entirely expected at this time, before the door flings open, and standing in the doorway is Spud, but not dressed in his typical poncho and wizard hat attire. No, this time he's wearing a long white lab coat that looks to be partially stained, possibly a second-hand lab coat bought from a second-hand thrift shop. He's got what looks to be like microscope goggles on the top of his head, and on his shoulder sits the pudgy raccoon, who also appears to have a handmade little white lab coat on. And as Spud bursts out of the doorway, seeing you, at first you could see that he was like annoyed for the interruption, but then upon seeing you, his expression changes dramatically to one of surprise upon seeing you. What do you... Oh, hey!
Hey, Spud.
You have to go.
Excuse me?
Yeah, you gotta go. You gotta get out of here. I got a standing deal that gets me fed for you not being here, so, can't threaten that. You gotta go.
What are you talking about?
Your friends bring me food, and I don't give you poison, I guess is what they call it. Candy.
She looks confused. And now is just mentally just wondering what the fuck is going on. I don't know what you're talking about.
Army boy and nutcase made a deal with me that if I didn't give you drugs, they would give me food.
Have you heard from Nutcase lately?
No, but I consider that a boon. They got that crazy look in their eyes.
She died.
Oh.
And as for Army Boy, he's not in charge anymore. Not of our group.
I'm still getting the blood, so I'm good. Anyway, come on in. And he turns around and steps into the trailer.
She sighs a little bit just because she's annoyed at people meddling with her stuff, and will step inside the RV, shutting the door behind her.
So Army Boy's not in charge anymore, huh?
No,
Who's in charge?
you're looking at her.
Really? Well, you're looking good.
Yeah, 8 months sober will do that.
Ugh. Congratulations. No, that's actually genuine. Congratulations. That's a tough road.
Yeah, it hasn't been easy, and I wouldn't have even come here if I didn't need to talk to you about some stuff.
I'd say I'm hurt, but I suppose I get it. I just kind of thought our friendship ran deeper than substances.
She pauses at the friendship part, and she does that thing that people who are trying to just center themselves and focus, where she's just tapping her finger, each finger individually to her thumb, and just switching and going down the line, trying to not react. And she just lets it glide past her. Yeah, well, I did need to talk to you about some stuff. It's vampire related, so
Oh, so you're here on business, not pleasure.
yeah, I mean,
No, I get it. That's how it works with most of you guys. You come here when you need something. I get our arrangement. What can I do you for?
me and my pack, we're looking into the castle.
Why?
We want to get rid of it.
Oh, okay. Well, good, I guess. You're gonna make a lot of enemies doing it if you do.
I'm trying to minimize that, but we're in a situation where we have to do something about it within a certain amount of time, or else the people around it, the community, the humans, can get involved in something that'll really damage them and their place.
More so than it's been doing for like the past 20 years.
We're trying to fix that.
Oh. Okay. Well, I think you're already in a kind of bad spot, because as far as I know, that's part of the treaty agreement, is that you guys are supposed to leave that place alone.
Which is why I'm here to talk to you, because from what I've come to understand about vampires, you guys are good at maneuvering social situations and these little deals,
Uh-huh.
and be able to do things without actually breaking any rules.
Yeah.
So I would like to ideally try to find a way for me and my pack to combat this place without even having to set foot in it. But I don't know anything about it other than that it's involved with the leeches and potentially human trafficking.
Yes. Yes to all of that. Okay. Let me pose a thought experiment to you. And he goes and sits on his rolling stool. And as you have a moment to actually look at the interior of the trailer, you see that it's changed. It doesn't have the same smell, that same like harsh chemical smell, or the same drug paraphernalia scattered throughout. If anything, it looks like it is a pretty well put together laboratory at this point, that there is actual lab equipment, not kind of half put together, MacGyvered lab equipment, but actual professional lab equipment. And it has just a very clean overall look to it. Now, there is still the scattering of papers and notes everywhere, but you're not seeing the same drug dealer vibe that this place has always had. If anything, it feels more like a pharmaceutical vibe. You can see pill bottles and kind of containers everywhere. You can see recipes that are pinned up on a cork board that have actual pharmaceutical ingredients, not kind of the same stuff you're used to seeing.
Well, you've been putting Soldier Boy on Crazy Eyes' money to good use. This place is really clean. You stepped up your lab equipment.
No, they just give me blood. But anyway, okay. Let me put it to you this way. How would you close a grocery store?
Cut off their deliveries.
That's one way, yes. But if their deliveries are, let's just say they brought the cow to the store rather than the already butchered meat. Or the cow just walks in of their own free will.
So what, like get people to stop shopping there?
That's one way.
You could shut off their power, but that's not realistic.
That is a little bit more difficult to do. I think that'd just be a temporary fix. Most places around here have generators because of, hurricanes and storms and the like. So yes, in a short stint you could, but that is something that can be pretty quickly fixed.
Building, like zoning issues. I mean, the place it's located, there's some places there were built before people weren't allowed to legally have basements.
Definitely. That's absolutely a way to go about it. You could go the political route of having a health inspection go bad, having them look at the zoning requirements or whether they, are up to code on the building. Those have a lot of bureaucratic red tape, and the leeches usually have somebody in their ranks that's meant to look out for things like that and fix them up. But it's a way to stall operations for sure.
Thing is, we need it completely gone.
Even if it just means them moving and setting up shop elsewhere? Because that's what's likely going to happen. You're not dealing with just a bunch of street level leeches. You're dealing with an organization, and a very, very well-funded, well-regarded organization among kindred society.
What are they an organization on paper or
No.
No, not like Tiny
No,
Point?
not like that. It's pretty much kindred exclusive.
So like Illuminati?
I mean, not as, weird conspiracy based, but I suppose secret societies, kind of skull and bones vibe. It's a business, really. At the end of the day, it's a business that just traffics in blood.
What's it called?
I won't say it's the most clever of names. It's nothing like, Later Tater or anything really tongue-in-cheek like that. It is the circulatory system.
I mean, whoever named it definitely had a sense of humor.
That, or they just wanted to be very, very clear about what they, trade in.
Okay, so if it's an organization like Skull and Bones, that means that this is technically a branch?
Yes.
So who runs this branch?
That is a complicated question. So I would say that the front-facing individual is a guy named Devin.
Does Devin also own the nightclub?
I don't know exactly what the internal politics of that are. I would say he probably has an ownership stake in the nightclub, and if not him owning it, he definitely is manipulating whoever does own it. Whether they're a ghoul or just mind-fucked, whatever the case may be.
So Does Devin like to go out of the nightclub? Do you know if he ever leaves?
I'm sure he does, but I don't know if he's super obvious about it.
Have you ever met him?
No. I'm not rich enough to have met him.
So essentially, only people with money get to meet Devin.
Money or a willingness to trade in high quality product, so to speak, whether it's big favors or money or a vessel for a vessel.
If Devin were gone, would organization, production, or however the hell you want to word it, would it halt for a good amount of time?
No.
No?
No, they just find another face. I mean, you're looking at maybe a week.
That's it?
Yeah. As slow moving as Kindred stuff can be, when they need to move fast, they will. And the circulatory system has been in business for a long time, so they're used to this kind of situation.
Okay. All right. Say you were me and you wanted to take them out. What would you do to do it for as long as possible?
Well, to be honest, Delphine, I'm not you. What I would do is probably considered unethical and dastardly, but I'd poison their food supply.
So the people.
Yeah. I'd send in dirty blood, a lot of it. Because then you ruin their reputation, you ruin that location, and potentially stop Kindred from engaging with it, which would cause them to probably have to go quiet for a while until they could clean up the issue and then represent themselves.
She thinks about that and just grimaces that would potentially really hurt the people. Do they do bagged blood or do they just drink from people directly?
Both. They primarily prefer the vessel over the bag blood because that's what you're buying, right? Is the vessel, not the blood itself.
How are they getting these people though? Maybe we could just find the people and get them away from all this.
Well, any ones they already have, you're a shit out of luck for that. But any new potential recruits, I mean, they walk in the front door almost every week. There's a reason they choose places like nightclubs and hospitals and the like to gather vessels, because they're coming of their own free will. They don't have to do any real footwork to get them. They just got to snatch them once they're there.
That's not going to work.
I mean, don't you ever wonder why drinks or bars do like ladies' night or half off or buy one, get one? Like, you're bringing in foot traffic.
Fuck. She looks just genuinely stressed out just by everything she's hearing. And she's even starting to wonder how the fuck Ethan and them thought they were going to be able to pull this off. If it's so is easily replaceable in a week.
They probably weren't thinking long term.
So here's the situation, Spud. There are some Geru werewolves that want to see the world burn. And those Geru have recently come back to town.
Okay.
And essentially, these scorched earth werewolves want to target every single place that Bateman likes to consider part of his operations in the city. They already hit one place up, and they were going to hit the castle next.
Okay.
But-
and they're not with you guys?
No, they're not. They don't care who they hurt. And as long as they just fucking incinerate the worm.
Okay. Speaking outside of me for a moment, why is that a bad thing?
Because
Why not just let them?
Because they don't care who they hurt, including the people who live in the community.
Why do you?
Because those people don't deserve to have their entire lives ruined.
Well, one, I'd ask what lives. Look at the state of affairs recently. Two, if not you, someone else is going to. Like, aren't they part of the problem? As far as it's been explained to me, what you're fighting is because of humans.
But humans are a part of what we're fighting for.
Mm-hmm. Boy, it makes this fight sound impossible.
And yet we fight it. I just... A lot of Geru have different views on on how to fight this fight, but I don't think that humans necessarily have to be the villain. Otherwise, we wouldn't come from them.
Well, no, but you also can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs.
If we hurt people, we're no better than them.
And who?
Then the vampires trafficking them for food.
Well, that's one way to think about it. But really, the people who are getting trafficked are suffering for a much longer period of time, whereas destruction would just be a quick end.
So you would just kill a bunch of people who had the misfortune of just getting caught by this circulatory system.
Well, I wouldn't. But I'd probably get some other people too, yeah.
That's not acceptable to me.
Okay. Then if I were in your shoes, I'd... It's tough because it's a pretty popular establishment, so it would take some time to ruin their reputation.
Do they have enemies?
I mean, everybody has enemies.
So who are theirs?
Probably everyone who can't pay.
So other leeches, vampires.
Mostly. There's also some, rival blood traders starting up, but then you're just trading one problem for another.
Ideally, there wouldn't be any blood trading.
Oh, that's sweet. I'm in a blood trade, Delphine.
Yeah,
with you guys.
I understand that, and that was not with my knowledge or consent. They didn't have the right to make that agreement for me.
They didn't make it for you. They made it for themselves if I stopped selling to you. And of course, I tried to think of ways around it. Like, maybe I didn't do the selling, but somebody I knew did the selling. But then you stopped calling, so I stopped trying.
Well, you're not doing that. They're not going to be giving you any blood anymore.
That's not the deal.
She looks around and there's just some, like, is there, like, you said there's pills?
Yep.
She'll take a pill and reach into her pocket and put $5 on the counter.
You're paying a lot for aspirin.
But you sold me something. Deal's off.
I didn't sell you anything. You stole from me and left money.
You're not Spud, you're not gonna be. I'm gonna have a talk with him after this. I don't need this. We don't need this happening anymore. They're not gonna give. Ray's not gonna give you blood anymore.
So you'd rather I go out and get it?
Why do you need it?
To live.
You can't.
Why do you need food?
You can't just get, like, stuff from a blood bank.
Probably. But also that requires me getting it from a blood bank and potentially hurting people to get it.
I thought you guys, like, I don't know. I had one of you guys bite me once and, like, have some of my blood, and they freaked the fuck out.
Yeah, I'm not drinking your blood.
Then what are you doing with Ray's blood?
Ray is bringing me blood. He is not giving me his blood.
She misunderstood the context of everything up until this point, and now she looks furious that Ray is participating in fucking blood trafficking. And her nails physically dig into her fist so hard. Her nostrils are flaring and she is just tense.
I don't see what the problem is here. A blood bag falls off the back of a truck every couple of weeks. Well, a few blood bags. I can't just have one last a couple of weeks.
So he's getting them from a blood bank or a blood donation truck? That's what he's getting it from?
I don't know. I don't ask.
She rakes her fingernails through her hair, just fucking frustrated over. This is when he was in charge too. And she's so mad at Ray right now.
I'm not sure why you're getting so upset about this. I'm assuming it's ethically sourced.
See, I don't know that. I don't know if it would be ethically sourced from him.
Well, you could always do the Nunya rule.
Okay. Fuck.
Also, that sounds like you have an inner circle trust issue going on there if you can't trust that he would get it in an ethical way.
Yeah, I will speak with him about all this.
We're friends and all, but you realize if you cut off my food supply, there's not gonna be any more fun Q&A visits.
Spud, are we friends? Because you sold me drugs, dude.
I gave you what you asked for.
Yeah, you were providing a service. You were selling me stuff. And I was getting something that made me feel a little less shitty about myself. And poisoning and killing myself. Are we friends? Because
You're here, aren't you? You noticed I haven't asked for anything. I'm not sitting here demanding a price before I answer your questions. I don't know, are we?
I don't know. You were getting a lot of money from me. I was just another client.
But you weren't. You were a werewolf client. That's a huge risk for me to take.
I wasn't always the werewolf client.
No?
So what, you just kept me around because you were scared of me?
No. I kept you around. 1, because I liked you. 2, because, I mean, it's never bad to have a werewolf stopping by on the reg and who thinks of you somewhat fondly. And 3, curiosity.
What curiosity?
Well, I've never had a werewolf drug addict before. To see how the drugs would work on said werewolf would be interesting, and wondering how it would affect you. But I don't know. I'm used to always being told my entire existence that werewolf bad, werewolf rape, claw, murder, death. And the fact that you weren't that way was curious.
Well, if the werewolves I came from initially were to be believed back when you first knew me, I wasn't exactly the best werewolf.
You look like you're doing better now, and I'm happy to see that. You have to understand, Delphine, a good number of my clients, drugs don't kill them. They can do them forever. That's a choice at that point. And kind of the same for you guys. It wasn't going to kill you. It was just going to, not be great. As far as I could tell, because you hit a certain point and you stopped degrading, I guess. So it's not like it was going to be... It's not like I was murdering you, I guess, in my mind. You could view it otherwise. That's fine. I get it. You've been probably getting the whole 12-step program, and that's perfect. But as far as I know, from the education I have received from you, your companions, your bosses, if it's not silver or fire, it wasn't going to kill you. So this was just a thing that you do. Unless you somehow sparked the bowl poorly and then went up in flames, then that's more on you than on me.
It didn't kill me. It wasn't going to kill me. You're right.
Well, obviously you're here.
But it still did damage. She actually will. She looks healthy now, but as she'll I'm gonna switch to my Glabro form. Just still standing calmly. Let me do the rage check. Okay, I passed. And shifting to her Glabro form, barely bigger. She's taller, a little taller, but she looks worse. She's skinny, emaciated, and gaunt in that form. Her hair is dull, her eyes are a little bloodshot. She's got the hollowness in them.
Can I ask you something? 1,
What?
impressive. But 2, Are you pro-choice?
Yeah.
Are you liberal?
I wouldn't tell my parents, but I guess compared to them, I am.
So you believe in a person's right to choose what's best for themselves?
Yes.
All I did was let you choose what was best for you. I know it's a shitty argument for a drug dealer to make, but really, I never forced it on you. You came asking for something, and I supplied it. No different than a grocery store, no different than a pharmacist, no different than any business in a society that demands business be done in order to survive. So yes, you can say that I was poisoning you, that my product was bad. What about alcohol? Do you judge every bartender you see? Do you judge every club that you see? Because that's just as poisonous, maybe even worse so.
She'll shift back to her regular Hamid form.
And that's legal.
I understand the point you're making. But I will point out, too, just in this little gray area, friends don't hurt each other.
I think we both know that's not true. Just a minute ago, you were getting all pissed off because your friend tried to get you off drugs.
I was more mad that he wasn't letting me try.
Did you not try? Sounds to me like you did. You look good now.
How long? He didn't know I was trying to quit. I wasn't talking to people about it. I was trying to keep it to myself. So that way I didn't disappoint anyone if I failed.
That sounds like a happy coincidence then. Just all lined up perfectly.
Feels like he didn't trust that I could do it without interference.
Okay. Would you have trusted you? Would you now have trusted you then? Based off of what they saw, not what was going on in your head and your mind and all that stuff.
She's silent for a few moments, just thinking around the time that everything was happening when she decided to quit. She doesn't have a real idea of exactly when they made this deal with Spud, if it was before or after she had quit. But that period of time was not a good point for the pack at all. With everything going on with her and Juniper at each other's throats over her parents being around all the time in a more metaphysical sense. And then just the blowback from everything that happened in hell. The end of the day, the entire pack was unstable and weren't trusting each other at all. And her face kind of says as much to that point.
So, if you were watching someone effectively kill themselves, although you wouldn't have died from it, I'm going to reiterate that point.
Yeah.
You wouldn't step in, especially if you cared about them or relied on them. Did they not try to confront you or talk to you about it directly several times before then? Because it sounds like you gave them no other choice.
She'll huff a little bit and just sit down on that couch, that same couch that she got high so many times in.
Now, Delphine, I'm not trying to make you feel bad. But since I do consider us friends, I'm telling you the truth you don't want to hear. That being said, you and I have something very strong in common. I'm not in the illegal drug trade anymore. You can thank Joker for that.
Jester?
Sure. I do pharmaceuticals now. And I create them for people who can't afford them. Like insulin, that kind of stuff. So I've turned my life around too, so to speak, mostly by force. But it's good to see you doing well. But I also know how difficult this world can be and that people need things to get by. And that doesn't just stop at humans. So I never judged you for doing what you had to do to wake up another day.
She rubs her temple a little bit. She does dig out the aspirin that she swiped off the counter, and she just pops it in her mouth because she can feel a little bit of a headache coming on over all of this. I came to fucking ask how to get rid of blood trafficking vampires, and I ended up in a therapy session. What is my life right now?
Complicated.
It's always been complicated.
Yeah.
This is beyond complicated.
You want to get rid of blood trade. You're going to have to probably spend the rest of your life trying to do it. Because this organization that you're going up against, it's not a Florida-based thing. It's a Earth-based thing. They have organizations, depots all over the world. They have an on-demand service that you can call and have them drop off a vessel to your door.
Disgusting.
I guess, but so's DoorDash. You don't know what they're doing to your food in transit.
So you're basically saying there's no real solution, at least for Tampa, just a Band-Aid.
I mean, from what I understand about the war you guys are fighting, it's a lot of Band-Aids. People are going to people. They're going to still pollute. They're still going to treat the world like it's a hourly motel. And vampires or no, everything you do is just stalling. What's next? That doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. But if you want, let's use this as a small example, okay? Let's use this as a local example. You could destroy the building. They'll just build another one. You could drive them out of the building. They'll just move somewhere else. What you need to do is change their minds. And I'm not talking about the vampires. Vampires are going to always want blood. That's what we do. I hate it just as much as the next guy. Believe me, I enjoy this arrangement because going out and getting it, icky, gross. But that's inevitable, and you can't destroy all the vampires. There are vampires you don't even know about buried in places of the world you can't find. They're going to always exist, at least as far as I can tell. But if you change the minds of the people who are unknowingly feeding themselves to the machine, then you change the course of things moving forward. The reason the vampires chose that business is because it made itself profitable to them. It provided an avenue, an opportunity, a chance. Most of the people who go there aren't the kind of people who would be missed if they disappeared. And there are a lot of places like that in the world, especially over the past decade or so.
So basically, best thing to do is change public opinion.
I mean, good fucking luck, but yeah. You gotta change the way the world works. And that's why it seems so impossible. So short-term solution, burn the building down. Poison their food supply. But that is a short-term solution. And it's going to have short-term results. Because they could also just wait you out. You're going to die, they're not.
I know that you vampires like us do different things. Is he strong or is he...
Well,
we encounter...
What do you mean, you vampires? I am a Diet 7-Up, thank you very much. And 2, probably, yeah. If he's in a position like that and nobody's taking him off the hill, yeah.
No, like, is he physically strong? Because, like, we've fought some. We've fought some before. We fought that one that you told us about, the gangrel. Right?
Right.
And they were strong. But we also encountered one that was able to fuck with our minds. What can they do? Devin, do you know? I know you've never seen him, but have you heard?
Based off of the flavor he is, it's probably mindfuckery. Yeah.
What do you mean by flavor? Like,
are all werewolves the same?
That's what I was pointing out. So that's what you meant by flavor?
Yes.
Okay. What flavor is that?
Pretentious.
So like Bateman?
In the same ballpark, but they are more okay, I'll say it this way. Vapid.
So like Regina George from Mean Girls?
Yeah. That's a good one.
Okay.
Isn't that an old reference for you?
Everyone's watched Mean Girls.
Fair enough.
It's a great movie.
So yes, more like that. More social and kind of manipulative.
Great.
But no vampire is ever just one thing. They have possibilities of becoming more than one thing. And don't underplay someone's ability to social manipulate. Because it could be as simple as changing your mind, but it could also be as simple as changing the minds of everyone around you. And then you will find yourself going toe-to-toe with the people you're trying to protect.
Trust me, Spud, out of anyone you could talk to, I'm the one, especially recently, I don't underestimate social interaction. We had to deal with one of the ones that wants to basically take everything out and not care who gets hurt to do it. And fucking sociopath or psychopath, whatever.
There's a reason vampires have been around as long as they have. They're like ticks. They embed themselves and they're very hard to get rid of.
Great. Well,
I'm not saying it's impossible. But if you're only viewing it one way or a handful of ways, you're only stalling.
no, trust me, I got ideas. I just don't think they're achievable within the time limit we've got.
I've been searching for the cure for vampirism for over a decade, and I feel like I've barely scratched the surface.
What, werewolf blood, isn't it?
Unfortunately, no.
Well, if I find anything about curing vampirism in the building, maybe I'll send it your way.
They're not going to have that. But they want vampires to be around. That's their business. What do you want? And I'm not asking in the grand epic scale of things. I'm not asking in the save the world, save the cheerleader, whatever type of way. Like, what do you want?
What, like in general?
Yeah.
I mean, a few weeks ago, so a couple months ago, someone asked me the same question, and I told them I want a canopy bed.
Okay.
But right now, I just want me and mine safe.
Then don't go near the castle.
Mine includes everyone around the castle now, too.
Yikes. Well, unless you're going to get politically conservative and controlling very soon, you're not going to prevent that.
I don't know. Maybe I could imitate my dad a little bit.
I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but based off of the fact that you ended up in my lap, I'm going to guess no.
What, you don't think that rich kids, rich Nepo babies are good in the head?
Name one that doesn't go island hopping.
Me.
But you were cut off.
Yeah. But not anymore. Got money now.
Okay. So what are you going to do with it? Launch a smear campaign against the castle?
Fix Ybor.
To start. So what about just outside of Ybor? Because they could do that.
Aspen's purview is all of Tampa. I am supposed to take care of just a small portion of it. At least directly. Maybe I can work with Aspen when she gets some time. She almost slipped there.
Okay. there are ways to do it. You just have to decide what matters more, your ethics or your success.
Definitely something to talk about with my pack.
You can try to have it all, but it's going to make it that much more difficult.
She thinks for several moments and remembers Piney Point all of a sudden. How did you make that stuff where it made smoke come out of us?
That was, believe it or not, working with werewolf blood. I had to test the chemistry to see what would effectively work with werewolf blood and how to make it by the properties of transference, because normally it only works on vampire blood. I had to figure out how to make it gel with your guys' deal. Not 100% foolproof, but so far it's been mostly successful.
Is it possible to hurt the vampires with the blood but not hurt people with the stuff you can do?
Yes, but most vampires don't come to me for that kind of stuff because they don't need it.
But what if the werewolves are trying to hurt some vampires and they know someone who can do that?
Are you trying to get me to do your dirty work for you?
We're friends, aren't we?
Oh, I see what you did there. It's not impossible, but I'm going to tell you it's very unlikely. To come to one such as me is considered debasing themselves if they are a full-flavored.
But they're not coming to you. I am. What if, are you able to make something that we could give the humans that won't hurt them, but when they're fed from, can hurt the vampires?
Yes, but don't expect the human to survive.
Okay, then never mind.
I'm just saying, when a vampire starts to have a negative reaction, they kind of lash out at everything around them. Wouldn't be that what I made killed them, it'd be the vampire that took it killed them.
Okay. Well, it's knowledge I have.
Yeah.
Along with the giant stack. And she pretends like there's like she does like the miming of a giant stack of papers in front of her. Giant stack of other knowledge I have.
Now, let's talk about payment.
I gave you $5.
That was for the pill.
So you did sell me a pill.
No, you just took it and gave me $5. I consider it a donation.
What do you want?
I miss you.
So what? You want me to text you more?
Or come hang out. Pippin's a perfectly good, companion, but he's not much of a conversationalist.
What, you don't talk to his mom?
She's not much of a conversationalist either.
Most of the people at my NA group would say hanging out with you is a bad idea.
Most of the people at your NA group are one slippery sidewalk away from death.
The size.
I'm not going to force you. But, you know, I'm glad to see you doing well. And if you think that the only way to continue doing well is not to see me, I get it. You wouldn't be the first.
Can I do an insight check on him?
Yeah.
Three successes?
Spud is very lonely. If you really think about it, he's an outcast from vampire society. He can't quite connect to human society anymore. And werewolves don't exactly come pay social calls on a regular basis. So he's just kind of not connected to anyone. If anything, the drug trade allowed him to connect a little bit better to people. But overall, it was making them need him that brought them by, not their desire to hang out with him.
She stares at him for several moments before she lets her shoulders relax just a little bit more. Okay, Spud. We can hang out. I don't think that hanging out here, she gestures to the trailer, would be the best idea when I'm still within my first year of recovery. Just because
You're going to dig into the makeshift Viagra?
but maybe we could hang out outside and do something else. Like, I don't know, skee ball at an arcade or pool.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's a good arcade bar called the Extra Life.
Think I've heard of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could hang out. How about, I have a job, so sometimes a lot on my scrap plate, but I could maybe do twice a month
Sure.
and text.
Time kind of gets all fuzzy anyway when you're what I am.
But yeah, we can hang out again, Spud.
I like that.
Maybe I can bring my friend, the big one.
Oh, yeah. Axe body spray guy.
You knew him as Deadbeat, I think.
I know him as that still. Did that change?
It did. His name, we call him Forged now.
That's a
Forged from
dumb
Failures.
name.
Forged from Failures is the full name. But Forged is shorter.
Why not just Forge? Like the D makes it really weird.
I know. I call him Forge more often than not. He doesn't seem to have picked it up and hasn't corrected it, though.
I'm pretty sure that guy doesn't pick up very much as in general, but if you think he's cool, I'm all for it.
He's cool.
Okay.
He's calmed down a lot since you last saw him.
Good, because he was doing the whole like, oh, I'm gonna threaten you type thing, and then I almost killed him.
How were you going to kill him?
You think ever since werewolves came into my life, I haven't made preparations? Y'all got anger issues. I am ready at all times.
How confident were you that you were gonna be able to do it?
Let's just say I have glitter bombs.
That's worse than killing.
Don't come after me.
She'll stand up off the couch and she'll is Pippin still around?
Yeah.
You know, she'll try to reach out to give Pippin a little scritch on the head if he allows it.
Give me a charisma and animal ken.
Come on, Pippin, be cool. No.
Nope, he
no.
just immediately like hops up behind Spud's head.
That's good to see that hasn't changed.
He's shy.
He smells the wolf.
Yeah. It's hard not to. It kind of just emanates off of all of you.
Musky, I get it.
It's okay. I smell like a corpse, so, you know, I'd trade you if I could.
No, thank you. Okay. I need to get back.
See you soon.
Yeah. See you soon.
So as you step out of the trailer and return to whatever method of transportation you took to get here, we're not going to get too nitty gritty about that.
Call Jordan. He's Uber. He's
Oh,
Delphine's Uber now.
That's fair. Okay. So as you return to Jordan, sitting in the car, the pickup truck ready to drive you back home, what's going through your mind?
Everything's complicated. She doesn't like that it's more complex than just some vampire decided he wanted to do human trafficking. It's a fucking network. And just from Pentex alone, she knows that from experience that you cut off one head, another one's gonna pop up eventually. She's bummed out that Spud is lonely, because that's shitty. She understands it. She gets that. She understands feeling alone and not having friends. She lived that life a lot through her childhood. And she wants things to be simpler and less complicated, but she knows that's not realistic. And she just wants to do right by Gaia and the world and by her friends. And there's just always seems to be something that will just, even if they do the right thing, will still leave a moral scar at the end of the day.
There are many advantages that Guru have over Kindred. They can go out in the sun. They can eat. They can breathe. They can, for the most part, be relatively normal. But one of the biggest advantages vampires have over werewolves is time. Time to build, time to create, time to test and practice. To go up against an empire like the circulatory system is to go up against 100+ years of planning and time and preparation and investment. This is why the Guru struggle. If they're lucky, they have 25, 30 years. If they're lucky. Whereas vampires, supposedly, have forever. And if it doesn't work now, give it another decade or century or millennia. Because it'll probably work then. All you have to do is wait. We now transition to our next scene. Quinn, it's been a couple of weeks now since your encounter at the university, since your cooperation with the cult of Fenris. And while it was successful, it also gave you a true insight into how the other side does things. And while it may have been, from a certain standpoint, horrifying, it probably felt good to actually be doing something. Because a lot of what you've experienced, especially since you arrived in Tampa, has been waiting, watching, observing, defending. Not a lot of aggressive action. But hearing about these protests, these riots that are popping up all over the city, you can't help but think, is this the cult? It's aggressive, it's action, it's destruction. Or is it something else? Information has been scattered and scarce, and while your focus has been primarily on Ybor City, you're not naive enough to not at least keep a little bit of tabs on the city as a whole. So when you see mention of a protest that is going to be taking place in Ybor City, you know you have to look into it. You have to investigate. Now, it's advertised as a peaceful protest, talking about immigration law, the war in Iran, as well as many, many other issues. So as you are heading through the streets of Ybor, with it being in the early evening, the sun's still high enough in the sky, but headed in the direction of dipping below the horizon as summer has extended the daylight hours. What's going through your mind as you head to go check out this protest?
Quinn does have concerns that this is another cult thing or some sort of other aspect that maybe we haven't really focused on because we've been so busy with either the cult or the worm or other aspects in that case. So there's a worry that there's something else there that we're not seeing. So he wants to make sure to investigate and check it out. Not necessarily have action in this moment, but at least check it out and see if there's anything he can glean.
Okay. So as you head toward the protest, you find that it is taking place at a local Secretary of State, almost like a DMV, but it handles a lot of varying issues. When you arrive, you see that it is a small gathering of maybe 20 to 25 people that are holding signs or just talking in small groups. You can even hear someone starting chants over a megaphone as they all gather out front of this office. Right away, nothing seems untoward. With the state of affairs over the past couple of years, things like these aren't as uncommon as one would think. Are they advertised? Are they publicized? No, of course not. But if you're in the right groups, if you have social media, you can find them. They happen on a very regular basis. As you approach the crowd, you can hear the banging of pots and pans. You can hear that they're kind of making a song out of their chants and protests. But I'd like you to roll me a wits and awareness.
My rage is at 2, lest I checked? Is it still that?
I'd say it's gone down to a 1 since then. It's been a rather quiet week overall in the Ebor area at the very least.
Thank you. That is 2 successes.
2 successes. Okay. As you look throughout the crowd, it is a very mixed bag of people. It's not any one particular, grouping or denomination. It's a very eclectic bunch, which is nice to see because sometimes in these protests, it can seem to swing one way or another. Very entitled liberal white people, for example, are often the occupants at certain protests. But this has a very mixed bag vibe going to it. As you kind of soak in the atmosphere, roll me a wits and insight.
Four successes.
4 successes. You know that feeling of something building, just slowly working its way up? It's kind of like that as you feel a underlying tension start to grow. You start to feel like there is an energy about this group that is building more and more and more as the time progresses, as the music starts to pick up the pace. It's almost like the early signs of a battle march, but it's very cleverly disguised as, just sounds of celebration or outrage, like a very, very faint outrage, but there's something underneath the surface that feels like it's starting to build. What would you like to do?
The individuals who are assumedly near whatever drums or instruments are there, are they in reach? Like I can go up to them?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Okay. I think Quinn is going to, noticing that there is some form of an escalation, he is going to accidentally bump into one of the individuals to try and stop the music from playing.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a d10. Now, I will say there are several individuals playing music. It's not just one singular source, but you could potentially bump into one of them.
Yep. 7.
Okay, so as you bump into this individual who seems to be banging a cowbell with a stick, I'll say, they stop their beats and you almost instantaneously, keeping your insight check, feel that kind of building tension drop. Even though the rest of the music is playing, even though the rest of the people are still carrying on, you definitely feel a tension shift as you run into this individual. Now, this person would normally not seem like much to look at. They're very easily overlooked, very nondescript features for the most part. But you notice that they have a very gnarly scar that goes just around the edge of their jaw. They have very kind of bleached dyed hair, which is in a almost fiery orange that has got an undercut all around and is a little bit longer on the top, as if it was maybe at one point a mohawk, but has grown out in the years or in the time since, and is now just kind of a messy mop atop their head. But they are keeping the sides shaved for the most part. They are wearing a t-shirt underneath a very surprisingly thick jacket for this time of year, long sleeves and all, almost like a trench coat, which, considering even right now at almost 11 o'clock at night, it is 83 degrees out here. So you can see that they are sweating pretty profusely considering the heat. Now, it is like mid-afternoon at this point or early evening, so it's probably about 6 p.m. So we're probably ranging near the 90s at this moment. But you can see that there are many packages of bottled water, that their heavy overcoat has a bunch of patches on it. You know, one of them being the little German flag patch, but then there's also like, damn the man, save the empire, and just all kinds of almost patches of rebellion attached to their coat. Roll me a wits and investigation.
Four successes.
Okay. As they turn to face you, at first their face is a face of kind of anger at being bumped into, but then it quickly washes away as if they're like, oh, you know, my bad. But what you pick up is even stranger than that. Inside of this already thick coat, you detect the glimpses of a fur lining.
Okay. Quinn bumping into him, say, "Oh, I'm sorry. I was all of this here is it's a lot, and I just I'm sorry. I didn't mean to push you."
It's all right, man. No problem. Just kind of be careful where you're going. There's a lot of us here, and we don't want anyone getting hurt.
Yeah. What's the protest around here for? What are you guys protesting?
What isn't there to protest these days?
Oh yeah, of course. But what's this one?
This one primarily has to do with the bitching out on the war on Iran.
Ah, yeah. Okay. All right. Can I ask? You seem kind of like hot. What's going on there? You okay?
Oh, yeah, I'm fine. I like my jacket. I always wear it to protest, kind of a tradition thing. But I got
that's really
water. I'm
cool.
good, man.
Yeah. Is that like real fur or, you know?
He pauses and says, no, it's fake. And he quickly zips up the jacket, closing it entirely, blocking off any sight of the fur inside.
I'm sorry if I pried a little too much. If I wanted to see if I could get a jacket like that.
It's all good, man. I just don't want anyone to get the wrong idea.
I don't think it's too much of a wrong idea. I mean, people are progressive these days, so some actions aren't too bad anymore.
I kind of consider it a statement against the fur industry.
Okay, what's the statement? I don't understand the context.
It's bad, obviously. The overhunting and killing of animals.
Yeah, absolutely, but wouldn't that mean that you would want not a real one?
Yeah, it's not real. But
Okay.
it's no big deal. That's not what we're here protesting today. It's kind of like one of those reversible coats that if I wanted to, I could, put it on inside out to show it. Anyway, you want an instrument? We got a whole box of them over here.
Oh, I'd love one. Let me see what you got, and he'll look through.
You can see that there's tambourines, there's extra cowbells, there's even a few pans from the kitchen and a wooden spoon to bang against it.
I think Quinn would probably go for a tambourine. If there's a green one, that'd be better.
Let me see. There is not a green one.
Ah, darn.
They're all kind of that same wood or even red. There's a little bit of red paint on some of them, but for the most part, they're just the natural wood.
Quinn will shake it and show it to him nice.
Yeah, well, have fun. Party's just getting started.
Quinn will kind of go more into the crowd and, occasionally shaking the tambourine and looking like he's more into this aspect and kind of continue the search.
What are you searching for specifically?
Noticing that that guy was kind of weird and standoffish, he's gonna look for similar vibes. Individuals wearing out of place clothing, maybe having a little bit more aggression in this uptick of a climax of music.
Sure. I'm gonna ask you to make another wits and investigation check.
Five on a crit.
So you see, like I said, a variety of people. You even see some of those people wearing those like inflatable dinosaur outfits or like a big panda bear or something like that are dancing around holding signs. You get the impression that people saw an excuse to come out in mass and represent whatever they wanted to represent. However, with your critical, there is something that you notice that is a little bit unnerving, as you notice that there is another cardboard box that is amidst all of these props and sign making supplies and all this other stuff that is still closed. It has not been opened up yet.
Okay. Quinn will kind of dance his way over through the crowd to that box.
Okay, go ahead and give me a dexterity and stealth. Or dexterity and subterfuge.
I will take subterfuge.
Okay. You're trying to look not obvious as you're making your way over to investigate this box.
5 successes.
Okay. So as you move over to it, it's one of those like tote boxes that looks like it's like a heavy, thick plastic with one of those fold top lids. And as you get close, you kind of use your heel to pry open the lid a little bit to see what's inside. And what you see inside is cans of spray paint, broken pieces of concrete and brick, crowbars, and bats.
Okay.
Now I need you to make me a composure and resolve check as the tension has started to amount again.
Two successes.
Quinn, your rage has gone up to 3. And it will continue to mount as you start to see everyone getting a little bit more like fired up. You can see even like some of them have started to playfully shove and push each other, like as they get like amped up, not in a violent way with each other, but like, yeah, man, let's do this. Yeah. Oh.
Okay, all right. I think Quinn, seeing this and feeling his own rage kind of boil up, he is going to see if he can't convince people to, instead of mosh pit, to do more like street dancing instead.
Okay. Give me a manipulation and streetwise.
3 successes.
3 successes. Okay. It works briefly. You kind of get the growing mosh pit to break up for a moment, but then you start to see others start to form in different areas amongst the crowd. not necessarily mosh pits, but just like a little bit of shoving, a little bit of like patting on the back or rubbing of the shoulders vigorously as if like a prize fighter is getting ready to get into a fight. And then you hear the shattering of glass and a car alarm go off as somebody has picked up a chunk of concrete from one of the parking barriers, those little like curb barriers nearby, and hurls it through a window that is marked with government plates.
Quinn doesn't know if he can really do anything in this moment, so he's just gonna wait to see the escalation of it all.
Okay. So as you are watching, roll me another composure and resolve check. However, this is going to be at a -2.
No successes.
Okay. So with no successes, your rage goes up to a 5. You can feel the fire starting to grow in your belly. You can feel your skin start to grow like pinpricks as a little bit of that eagerness and kind of just excitement starts to come over you. You can hear the banging of pots and pans. You can feel this energy coming from the crowd. You can feel the desire to destroy. So, what would you like to do?
Does Quinn have the wherewithal to know that he's gonna have to leave this area?
I will say, if you're willing to spend a willpower, you can give yourself the temporary self-awareness to withdraw from this situation.
I will spend it.
Okay. So as you spend that willpower, for a moment, you feel that fever, that frenzy coming over you stop long enough to recognize, oh no, this is about to become a problem. And quickly withdraw yourself from the situation, moving out of the parking lot, getting some distance between you and this growing mob. You hear more glass shatter. You hear voices start to get louder and louder, less chanting, more screaming. What do you do?
I think Quinn, however far along he is away from them, will kind of like take some deep breaths, try to calm himself down. Obviously not actually getting the rage down, but getting at least his mind cleared of it all. And then he thinks to himself, there's nothing we can do in this situation. They're going to escalate. There's no de-escalating that without violence.
Okay. So are you withdrawing from the entire situation?
I think he'll probably stay away and observe, waiting for any like police action or whatever to come around, but enough to where he's not going to get affected by it.
Is Quinn going to try and call the police?
I think probably. It's already started to escalate.
Okay, so pulling out your cell phone, dial 911. You explain to the operator that there's an issue forming in this particular strip mall and for them to send people. It takes probably a good 15 to 20 minutes for the police to arrive. But they do arrive, and they do arrive in a pretty good number, to the tune of like 4 squad cars that come pulling up, and they start to disperse the crowd. It's a little bit tense at first, but they are successful in eventually dispersing the crowd. Go ahead and roll me a wits and awareness.
Three successes.
As you see the crowd start to disperse, returning to their vehicles, the police go up to the broken windowed car and start investigating a little bit, mostly keeping people away from it to keep them from trying to loot the car or steal the car, but they do end up dispersing the crowd. The one thing you notice is absent is the man with the fiery orange hair. He has completely disappeared, as have the box of obviously destructive implements, but there is still the box of instruments still sitting there, discarded, abandoned. Eventually, quiet takes over. Calm takes over. But you still have your own rage to deal with. You still have that itching sensation that's burning from your very core. That eagerness to act, to do something. So, as there is nothing external affecting Quinn anymore, I would like you to make a composure and intelligence check. Full pool, no negatives.
Four successes.
Okay. Considering your state, considering this isn't the first time you've probably reached this level of rage before, you know that anything you would do in this moment would be bad, and that you need to resolve this by removing yourself, returning to the cairn most likely, and just letting out some of this aggression in a safe way, in a way that wouldn't be harmful to others. So as you go back to the cigar factory, you quickly just move past anybody who would get in your way, and I think anybody with enough intelligence about them would say, okay, this is not something to be messed with or toyed with. Let's let it go. And you go down into the basement. The basement has been turned into a sparring area / aggression place. And as you move down the stairs, you find that you are followed by Terrence. And as Terrence approaches you, he looks you up and down. You okay, cousin?
Quid's eyes. He says, "Nope, not good."
You need some help?
Yeah, big time.
All right. Why don't you have a seat on the floor? In the middle of the pit? I don't know what we're calling this yet.
I think we settled on pit. Yeah.
Okay.
But he'll plop down immediately, just on the ground, and just sit.
Terrence moves and sits across from you. Close your eyes. Steady your breathing. And listen to the song. And as you sit there, you feel a bit of that rage temper as Terrence begins to sing. He's not exactly the most talented singer, and it's not exactly on pitch, but he keeps it calm enough. And you feel some of that rage withdraw a little bit at a time. You spend probably a good hour following this process. Now, there are instantaneous or short-term solutions that can help dampen rage, but what he is doing seems to be a little bit more involved, a little bit more long-term, more of a right, less of a gift. And you feel slowly over the course of that hour, your rage decrease more and more until it settles at a 2. At which point, Terrence stops singing and looks to you. You feeling better?
Yeah, a lot better. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Don't mind me asking what happened.
I was just checking out the protests in the area, specifically the one that happened in Ybor. And there's something going on over there. Everyone's getting aggressive quickly. The music there itself is just making everybody kind of like amped up.
Do you think it might have been something from our side of the fence?
I don't know. I didn't really get any notion of us, but there was a weird guy there.
How so?
I mean, I'm not going to judge a person by how they look, but they were like in a full heavy coat with fur.
In this weather?
And they were sweating bullets. They were not having like a good time, but they were saying they were okay.
Huh. Well, if it was weird enough to stand out to you, that's probably something worth looking into. Did you happen to get a name or anything?
No, he was pretty standoffish, closed off, especially when I started asking about the fur.
Did you recognize them at all? Maybe from your escapade to the university?
No, it didn't seem like that.
All right. We'll have to do our equivalent of an APB then. See if we can keep eyes on this guy. You think they were the center of it all?
I don't know. He seemed like it. I mean, they had like different pockets of sections that were kind of all getting rowdy, but he definitely seemed a big part of it.
Interesting. All right. Well, that'd be something to let Delphine know about, and we should probably pass it up the line too, just so that everybody's got eyes on this. But I'm glad you made the right choice and came back. That sounded like it was getting a little bit wild. Did it get broken up?
Yeah. I called the cops and it dispersed. The guy, I couldn't find the guy afterwards, and there was a box of like clearly riot stuff that also disappeared with him.
Shit. It sounds like it's a group, not just any one individual. Izzy and Jace ran into a similar situation across town that was already violent and crazy when they got there, but they said that the people there weren't feeling themselves, and even Izzy had some issues with it. I think we're dealing with something that is clearly created, not natural in the way it's happening. If you ever start to feel that way again, more than the normal, get out of there and try and get as many details as you can on the way out. If we're going to get to the bottom of this and get it all figured out, we need to know what's causing it, what's going on, and how many we might be dealing with.
Yeah, I'll do my best. We're gonna have to make sure Forge doesn't go near any of these protests.
You said their coat had a fur lining?
Yeah, it was pretty evidently fur.
That's strange. I'm gonna make a call back to Georgia and see if I can get some answers as to that. I've never heard of anything like it before, but I'm also still a baby, all things considered. All right. Good work, Quinn. Take some time. Keep breathing. While you should be okay, you never can be too sure. So just before you go upstairs again, make sure that you're feeling level and good. I know there's been a lot of stressors lately, and even if there aren't external factors that could be firing you up, you get in your own brain space and you can fire yourself up without even knowing it.
Yeah, I appreciate the song. It really helped me a lot. I appreciate what you do for us.
You're a tribe mate. More than just a sep mate or a pack mate. We look out for each other. We have to. That he gives you a pat on the shoulder. Starts heading upstairs. You don't have to stay for very long. You feel that warmth slowly start to fade away, that serenity start to fade away. The mention of tribe mate can't help but make your thoughts go to Willow for a moment. Are they okay? What are they up to? Is Rook taking care of them? Or is he making it worse? And you realize again just how lonely this place has become with their absence. You haven't made the same kind of connections with the other pack mates that you had with Willow, nothing even remotely close to it. The bond between a kinseeker and the one they've sought is its own thing. And while you've come to understand this place better, you've come to respect to some degree what they're doing here, despite their methods being a little non-traditional, you still feel that separation, that distance. The question is, does Quinn even care enough to try and bridge that gap? Do they have any desire to bridge that gap, or are they keeping one foot out the door just in case? You think of home, the Sept back in Vermont, just how different it is compared to all of this. That protest reminded you of some of the rites they would do to get fired up before a mission, before an assault on whatever issue was plaguing them at the time, especially amongst the Arun. But only a guru could know that. Was this a guru? Didn't feel like it. Now, there's no obvious, surefire way without certain gifts to be able to tell if an individual is a guru or not. But there's a vibe, a sense, a recognition. And you didn't feel that with this individual. You didn't feel that connection that Gaia creates between all guru, even those like Fenris, and to some very small degree, the Black Spiral Dancers. No, this was foreign, alien even. Maybe fabricated. Maybe, just maybe, stolen. We now go to break. We'll be back in just a few minutes with the second half of tonight's story. Welcome back. As we return, we find ourselves in the back room of the Split Helm, the popular gathering establishment of many of the allies of the Sept of the Evening Star, whether it be the bikers from the Howlers gang or the Ratkin, who have been given a designated space to hang out pretty much whenever they choose, as long as they are respectful and responsible. They might be towing the line on that second one a little bit, but we pick up with Jace and Skeeter playing darts as the others are milling about the area doing their own thing, with the notable absence of Mei Lin, who has been otherwise occupied or otherwise tasked for the time being. So Forged, why don't we start out right out the gate with a dexterity and athletics roll as you attempt to throw a dart at the board.
Not my strongest skill set, but I can certainly try. What's my rage at right now?
I'll say a 1. I don't think you're bothered by anything at the moment.
1 success.
Okay. So as the dart clatters off the edge of the board and goes flopping down to the floor, Skeeter gives a slow turn. You all right, buddy?
Yeah, man, I just think the board's probably a little crooked. I don't know. I mean, I think it's not set right on the wall here. I think you need to check that out.
Sure. Blame the board. Why don't you try it again? I'll give you a mulligan, I think is what the word is on that one.
Hey, man, if you give it to me, you better not complain about when I beat your ass later.
What kind of ass beating are we talking here? Because I'm never going fisticuffs with you.
No. Dude, you know I've only beat your ass if you deserved it. I mean, Forge will laugh a little at that. No, but seriously, it's when I beat you at this game, I mean.
Oh, got it.
Which will do the slightly embarrassing walk over to pick up the fallen dart on the ground and walk back to do another reshot.
As you turn around, you can see that Skeeter has his hands up as if he's taking a mental picture of you having to bend over and get the dart.
Or just gives like a sort of playful like middle finger back at him, flips him the bird, or he sits back or stands back up fully and walks on over. Saying, all right, this is gonna be the one. I know what's going on now. I see the angle.
You got this.
Okay, 2 successes, a whopping 2.
Okay, it hits the board kind of in one of the more neutral locations, not one of the rings per se, but definitely in the scoring area. And Skeeter nods his head. Not too bad at all. So, how things been without the head honchos in town?
I mean, it's been a mixed bag. I mean, one hand, a whole lot less people telling us what to do, which is kind of nice, you know. I don't have to work as hard to avoid, Aspen or, the rest of them. So, bonus on that, but it feels like ever since they left, it's only been shitty event after shitty event after shitty event. So,
Welcome to the land of the Pharaoh. Shitty event after shitty event after shitty event. But, how are you doing? I know you had a, rough time a few months back, and, you seem like you're doing well, but I also know you love to overcompensate, and he gives you like a grin and an elbow in the side.
of course, like, winces a little bit at it, lets out a little laugh. Yeah, I mean, it's been a mixed bag. I mean, one hand, I mean, some of the worst things that ever happened in my life just happened. Can't even lie about that. Won't sugarcoat that shit. But on the other, I mean, I'm still kicking. I'm still here. It's another day, and I don't know. That means something, right?
You got to do what you got to do, my friend. We're all trying to do the best we can, and not even just political climate wise, but it's just hard enough being what we are and trying to blend in around the normies, knowing the things they don't know and having to do everything we can not to tell them.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, it's been interesting trying to hang out with my normal peeps, at bars, different places, and especially when going through more of my rough patch. People asking, "What's going on? What's happening?" and trying to figure out how to explain, in the best way possible that, Black Spiral Dancers took a lot of things that I cared about from me. So kind of hard to say that without saying that.
I get it. And you still hanging out with that friend of yours, the good-looking gal that the shrink?
Yeah, I mean, we still talk on occasion, a little less clubbing. A little less time for clubbing, more being a pretty awesome person, I think. But Forrest clearly doesn't believe in that if he says that. But exaggerating, as he'll say. But yeah, I mean, I've been going out doing a bit more, helping out with community, helping with the soup kitchens, just helping people out when I can.
Plus, you're a working man now, earning a paycheck here.
I know, fucking sucks, right? I mean, I was going by just fine making with that allowance and just skimping by, carefree with that, make whatever money I get from helping out people, and now they actually make me have a job. I mean, God, I thought I was a warrior for the earth and not a warrior for the 9 to 5.
Please, nobody can make you do anything that you wouldn't, at least in some small part, want to do, even if you deny it to everyone and yourself.
Skeets, my man, why are you calling me out right now? You can let me live in my bullshit at least a little bit.
It's called a game psych out. And he picks up a dart and throws it, and it hits one of the external ring points for double points.
No, that's not fair. That's home field advantage. I bet you talked with the spirit of that dartboard right there. Got him to give you extra points or make it to the extra rings.
No, I just practice.
Borscht grumbles as he begins to aim for the board, and as he does so, he'll look on over to Skeets and say, "But I've been thinking about something though recently. I figured you might have some insight to the thing. We were gonna take a look at the castle, see if something could be done about that. Wonder if you had any insight about it." And he'll go to throw the dart, see how he lands.
I've been there a time or two. Go ahead and roll for me.
Another two.
Still hits, yeah, you're still hitting the board. It's a little too goth for me over there, the strobing lights and lots of leather, and I don't have a job, so I don't have the ability to buy all of the vinyl in the world. But why? Why are you going after that place?
Oh, just the evil kindred or sorry, evil leeches motherfuckers just sitting there doing stuff. Apparently we got a whole thing with I don't know if I'm keeping a loop about it, but there's these other, you know, guru around that apparently all they want to do is just break shit until something changes, I guess, and don't care who they hurt in the process. And it said if we don't deal with the leeches at Castle, they're going to be the ones that run in there and I guess burn the whole place to the ground.
Right, the fentanyl family, right? Is that what you call them? Fentanyl?
Fenris, but I like that one a little bit more. Fentfold, we can call them.
Yeah, Fentfools. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so what, you're working for them now?
It's complicated, like forced, and turns away from the board a little bit. He'll put his actually he'll like lean back on a table, both hands back. He'll look up a little bit, clearly conflicted about it with himself as well. I mean, we're kind of not. I mean, it was either that or just, try and straight up kill all these guys, which would probably be bad for all of us. I mean, there's a lot of them, and I mean, it's not like they want the worst thing. I mean, they want to fight as well.
Well, I know the last thing this city needs is to become a werewolf battleground of werewolves versus werewolves. That would just be that'd be messy, for sure. You wouldn't see us around very much after that. We'd be skedaddling as quickly as possible. So, what exactly is the deal there? What's the terms?
Remember, we got 90 days to deal with the leech problem at the castle, and if we don't, then they'll be the one to do so. 60, I mean, sorry, but days are always mixing up.
Believe me, I get it. Okay, so you have, if I understand correctly, 60 days to deal with the castle problem. Why not just spend the 60 days getting ready to fight them? As far as I know, that gave you an advantage of time to prepare for them. They're gonna do it. They're not gonna catch you flat-footed if you know when D-Day is.
Something that I sort of thought about. I mean, issue is if we fight them, that still the, werewolf fortnight at the city. We don't need every werewolf at each other's throats here. We need people working together, because if we start fighting each other, then I mean, the leeches are probably going to pull up on our turf and do something about it, or someone else is gonna, some other supernatural fuckface is gonna realize that we're weak and they're gonna come and do something about it.
You think you can recruit them?
Some of them maybe. Delphine's got this weird I don't know if it's a savior complex, best way to describe it, but she had this idea that, oh, we can help them, like we can help redeem some of them, which I mean, probably for some, yeah. I mean, there's a good amount of them that are just in the wrong crowd, but there's plenty of them that are just murderous assholes that we don't really have the time or people to help fix or save.
That's fair. I guess my concern there would be, who would you rather be across the battlefield from? Would you rather it be this ragtag bunch of fuckfaces, or would you rather it be all of the vampires? Because the vampires don't fight fair. I'm going to tell you that right now. They are going to do everything you're not good at to get you. Fighting's going to be the last thing they do.
Well, Skeet's a lose-lose either way, it seems like. Because, I mean, it's, if we're going to go toe-to-toe with Fentfools, then they're the one that are going to be the best at actually directly fighting and potentially killing us, and who knows what happens even if we win. We're going to be left battered and bruised with a bunch of guru who just wanted to actually fight against the worm dead. And then if we don't, or if we decide to work with them, then we got, fucking Dracula's army at our doorstep now. They wanted to all, kill us all, but
also, if you do a favor for them, they're just going to ask for another favor. They're just going to keep asking for things as long as you keep saying yes. As long as you keep agreeing. Because if you're intimidated by them, and I'm not saying you are, let's not get into that whole me poking the bear type thing, but like, if you seem like you're at their beck and call, they're just gonna keep calling. Because until you stop them from calling, they have no reason not to. Like, who's in control here? Who's in charge here? Is it you or them? Because, yeah, you're fighting for the same thing, but it seems, correct me if I'm wrong, you go about it a different way. You're more concerned with collateral damage than they are. And they're just gonna make you give up your morals, your ethics. They're gonna make you change your strategy to do what they want, and you might as well be one of them at that point. Now, I'm not saying taking down the castle wouldn't be a good thing. It's a perfectly good thing. If it's a den of vampires, no, every den of vampires is a bad den of vampires. I don't care what you say. But why does it have to be you? Let me put a thought experiment forward for you. I'm sure you know, and we've alluded to the idea that I have some leeches that I've been babysitting, looking after for the purposes of the leadership, having some inside men, so to speak. What if I were to tell you they want to take down the castle as much as you do, but they don't have any rules preventing them from doing it? They're allowed in without any kind of fancy jewelry or any, restrictions.
See, Forge pushes himself up from leaning on to the table, as he'll actually think about that a little bit. Hand to chin, rubbing his chin if he considers it. And it is a pretty nice idea, though. It's just, would they just take over the same thing, do the same thing if they won?
Could they? Keep in mind, the ones who are taking it over now are the so-called superpower of the area. It's more likely that the superpower is going to get pissed off and try to do something about it, and then you're looking at vamp versus vamp action happening. But it keeps your hands and your nose clean. And if they do take over, then you go do what you're going to do. They're not under the protection of, the powers that be. They're not included in the agreement, as far as I know. And they're not as powerful or as many. So in my mind, that's turning a lose-lose into a win-win. Besides, if it really goes badly, you just let the fen fools do it. And your nose is still clean. You can say, we did what you asked, we took it down, but some other fuckers have moved in. So now, we've fulfilled our end of the agreement. So we're not to blame for whatever happens next. Play them at their own game. Manipulation, my friend. Now, I'm not going to take you to them because I'm more afraid of your bosses than I am of you, no offense. And I think they'd see very unkindly to that. But if you were to use that charming, winning personality of yours to maybe suggest such a course of action to them and explain the situation you have found yourself in, mayhaps they will look kindly upon this solution over, oops, we broke the treaty, now we're at war, and everything fucking sucks. Or, oops, you gotta hand us over to them now and can't do anything to protect our lives. It was nice knowing you.
You know, Skeet, sometimes I think you have good ideas. I'm thinking I like the sound of this. I can't just let the Fenris go in there, though, at the end. If they do take over, we're going to have to deal with that, because I don't know about you, but I have people that I know about there that I care about. I mean, that's part of the thing of everyone doing the whole, you have to care now, Forge. Now I actually care about the people there, and the people actually, I'm friends with a lot of them. I can't just let them go in and tear the place down and kill some of them. But
you also have the advantage of being more than they are. So maybe as part of this mutually beneficial agreement, you say, hey, we want it emptied and to stay empty afterwards. You make it that they don't just set up shop and take up residence there. And you assure them that if they were to, it would be very bad for their health. I'm not sure how that'll work, but it would be bad for their continued existence for them to set up shop there, because it is your territory. And if they're smart, which, nuts to nuts, at least one of them is, you'll probably be able to encourage them to look elsewhere for whatever it is they are seeking to pursue. They got their own place that is protected from you for now, and it's a good furthering of the temporary alliance that you two have. A show of goodwill.
So I guess that would be more of us sitting on the sidelines while I guess you give them the encouragement to go on and check that out, see that opportunity.
Just because you're not acting doesn't mean you're sitting on the sidelines. Just because you're not direct. One, you bet your ass a bunch of leeches are going to come running out of there when things come south. And as soon as they step foot outside of that building, they're fair game. Someone's got to be there to clean up whatever happens, or to prevent it from spreading, so to speak. Two, the original statement still stands. You prepare for the Fen Fools. You spend this time getting ready for the inevitable fight that is likely going to happen. Because even if you do this favor, again, they're going to come asking for more, they're going to come asking for more, or they're eventually going to decide you've served your purpose and now need to be removed from the equation. So you're not sitting idle, my friend. You're preparing. And you might get a little bit of action on the outside when things start to go bad for the leeches. For the kings of the castle. For the inhabitants. Whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, it reminded me of a lesson I had to learn already, or learned pretty recent here about perspective. Yeah, that's preparing, not being idle.
No. If you're being idle, you're doing yourself a disservice. You're putting yourself in a position of idle hands are the devil's playthings, so they say. You're going to do something wrong. You're going to make a mistake. Your impatience is going to get the better of you, or you're going to be caught flat-footed again, like it sounds like you were last time when they showed up at your door. Don't let that happen again. Show that you're ready, you're stronger, and it was their mistake for giving you 60 days.
That is, Skeet, that I like the sounds of that. I think I'm gonna have to bring it up with Delphine and see how she feels about it and how everything else goes. I was telling her. I try to put it in a nice way because apparently, you know how things I apparently can come off a little dickish or assholey, according to some people. But I keep trying to tell them that these guys are just gonna keep asking for more. But I think Delphine's just too caught up on this saving the ones that we can and taking that over our own safety. And now it's just that annoying part, where you feel like you got the right idea and you want to do it and you have the whole, the right plan here, the right thoughts, but then someone else above you is just like, nah.
Also, there are other ways to act without going in all tooth and claw. It's a club, right? What do clubs do besides have flashy lights, loud music, and dancing?
Drinks.
And those drinks have to be delivered, don't they?
That's true. It's about if the place doesn't have drinks, there's only going to be like a quarter of the people there. No one's going to be dancing sober.
Right. But those drinks have to be taken into the building. And if those drinks have, I don't know, a brick of C4 in them, maybe at a particularly appropriate time, oopsie, someone lit the birthday cake. You're not going in. You are not technically breaking the agreement. And as long as you're not holding the trigger, it doesn't go against the whole interfering with their operations, blah, blah, blah. Or if you push the trigger after their operations are sufficiently interfered with.
Icing on the cake, if you will. Make sure that they really don't want to go back after all that bullshit.
What would they have to go back to? Does it suck for you? Sure, but there are other nightclubs in Tampa. There are other places you could go. It's really not the end of the world. It's just the one nerd-themed one. Or bondage. I don't know. I really didn't check out the whole place.
More bondage than nerd, but,
Makes sense.
It does sound nice. There is a problem, though. I may have talked with and made a deal with the spirit of Ybor, so I don't think he would be very happy if I were to blow up a very, a part of his city. That would probably be not very good on our arrangement to help him out.
But you're not sure, are you? Maybe that's something worth asking. You have to make sacrifices to achieve certain goals. Guru know that better than anyone. I think if you are taking care of a big problem by making a little problem, they will see the wisdom of that choice.
Speaking wisdom around me, Skeets. It's not my thing usually, but if that's, I'd rather not blow up the castle or hurt. If it might hurt a lot of people in the process. But I mean, if we don't do anything,
doesn't have to be an explosion. But what if it were a couple cans of tear gas? That would get all the humans out.
Definitely a lot better than the blowing the whole place down. Don't get me wrong, the idea of blowing up a bunch of leeches is really cool, but But
you're right, the building and the people, and that's fair. But I think there are ways, more discreet, less damaging ways to take advantage of this idea that they have something they need and it has to be brought into the building.
we can get the people away from there at least. And I don't know. I mean, if that's maybe around the time your guy decide to do something, or maybe around the, if we decide we need to get something else done.
Wait. Let's make something very clear. The leeches are not my guys. They are just the ones that I have decided are worth living a little bit longer.
How much longer is a little longer then? Because I mean,
Well,
what if
they have ideas that if they are serious about them and are prone to fulfilling could be beneficial for both sides. Maybe put a little end to the hostilities while giving insight to one another. But knowing how history goes, these things always tend to go a specific way. And if it does end up going that way, well, c'est la vie. Then it was fun while it lasted. But they have this notion that there is a way for the two sides to cohabitate. And being from a personal side of individuals who were wiped out by your kind once upon a time, I can respect the underdogs wanting to find a peaceful solution rather than be destroyed.
Forge looks actually a little conflicted by that? Because on one hand, Mom Mistakes taught him only good leech is a dead leech. And that's the only way they should approach them. Just kill them, no questions asked, no, don't talk to them. But Skeets here seems to be given a different kind of perspective into this. At least not as much of a kill on sight all the time, but maybe, some of them might have to be, hear some of them out, or maybe give a little thought to it. He'll say, "You sure it's not just them saying what you want, what you think they, or what they think you want to hear, instead of just, hoping that anything gets you on their side or help you out?"
It very well could be, but they aren't coming from a position of strength either. Could that change? Sure. But that's why we're watching them. Let's just say they're on their back feet right now. So I'm not particularly worried about them coming from a position of strength at the moment. I know how manipulative they are, but I also know how manipulative I am.
Let's manipulate off right now. See who wins on the end here. I mean, think they really will bite that bait then? See if they try and move into or at least buck up the operations of Castle?
Oh, I think they definitely will. That castle is more than just a neat nightclub to them. That is a stronghold of the forces they oppose.
And if you don't mind me asking, what these, I don't know if that's, I quote unquote ideals, if we're just put the air quotes up, these ideas that they are championing around, then what kind of goals or things they're talking about?
So think of it this way, okay? You know how you have elders and then you have pups, right? Imagine if those elders were elders for eternity and you could never rise to their rank. You could never exceed them. They are always going to be bigger than you, better than you, stronger than you, forever. One advantage that we have is that we die. The old are eventually going to die. So the young have to inherit the earth, so to speak. That doesn't happen with them. The old just keep going and get more and more out of touch with their ideas, with their notions as for what's best. It's like the laws that the Guru follow. Some of those are pretty fucking outdated. They're not really applicable to modern life. They have those too, so I've learned. And they are also extremely outdated. But if you don't follow them, you've got these greater elder blood gods that have come down upon you at every chance they can. And they're never going to just die. They're never going to just go away. They're always gonna be there. That's kind of a thorn in the side. This group is a bunch of young rapscallions, and they are looking for change, put it mildly.
For how you described it, can't even be mad about that. It doesn't sound like it would suck ass. I couldn't imagine 1,000 years of Aspen.
Well, they have called themselves the Anarchs. Now, they're not completely in believing of anarchy, I guess, but the idea still stands that there's been this ruling body for a long time, and they want to see it not be in charge anymore.
I mean, I can't say that I exactly hate that. I mean, less super powered blood gods running around and making all the rules would be better if more people could have I guess people is not the right word, but what I mean, leeches had a say in it. But
now,
I mean,
to consider this, the Garou were the ruling body for a very, very long time. Some would say they still are amongst the Pharaoh, amongst the changing breeds. Do you see how someone like me and my kind could be a little bit more understanding and relating to something like that? You get it, but you're still Garou. You're still considered by many to be higher than most of the Pharaoh. Now, I have not found that to be the case here, but that's here. You go to most other Garou populations in the country, they're going to wipe us out the moment they see us. Because we're a threat. So I can kind of understand where they're coming from. I root for the little guy because, well, I am the little guy.
I mean, hey, I'm a white man. I'm a Garou. I get it. I have a lot of privilege where I'm sitting here. I mean, if it at least helped a little bit, I'm apparently the bottom of the bottom of the totem pole of Garou, being a bone gnar. So I mean, hey, at least I have that little bit with you. And Rat seems to be pretty accepting of
like
a lot of
knows
different
like
kinds of people. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's kind of sucks though. They're still like evil vampire guys. I mean, they still hurt people and drink blood, right? I mean, they still got to, right?
Humans hurt animals and eat meat. I'm not saying that it's right necessarily. I'm not approving of what they do. But there is always going to be a pecking order. There is always going to be predator and prey. Could they refine the way they are predators? Sure. Does it have to come at the harm of people? Not necessarily. I think there's always going to be a risk of it, but there's always a risk with both of our kinds harming people. It's the nature of being, what's a good word? Demi-human. And they're always going to fear the idea of us. These humans that you want to protect, that we both want to protect. Were they to find out what we are, they would turn on us in a heartbeat. That's the reason we have to stay hidden. That's the reason we have to stay secret. Even though our motivations are always going to be to protect, to preserve, to help, to assist, to whatever, that goodwill only goes so far. Once they realize they're not the top of the pecking order, the top of the food chain, the top of the whatever, they're going to do everything they can to make sure they are. People are inherently afraid of things they don't understand. And there is no fucking way they could ever understand us or what drives us, or what motivates us, or the fact that we are trying to save the goddamn world.
That's, fair enough there. It's all so confusing, man. It's just like these, like, get told by everyone that don't listen to a word they think. They're super manipulators that make the world worse by just existing. And then now I'm hearing, oh, but I mean, they're still kind of people, still they demi-human, and they're trying to, like, some of them are trying to do something at least a little decent. But it's like, well, at that point, are they just assholes trying to grift and just do the thing they've been doing for, I guess, forever? How long?
Well, I don't claim to know everything about leeches. But what I can say, if I were to try and put myself in their shoes, from what I understand, they're only interested in one thing. Truly interested. Which is blood. Right? Gotta get it however you can get it. And I could understand that from their perspective, maybe animal blood doesn't taste as good as human blood. Like if you could only eat filet mignon and you couldn't eat a ribeye steak. Okay, that's all well and good. But also, doesn't the idea of eternity seem boring? Doesn't the idea of being around forever, once you get past the glitz and glam of watching the changing of the tides, of being able to see every fucking Marvel movie, including Avengers 37 when that comes out, that all sounds well and good. But eventually you're gonna see things repeat. Hell, we've seen it. In our lifetime, how many reboots have popped up? You're gonna see the constant repetition and cycle of the human existence, of creativity, of art, of everything. There's only so many original ideas, and I'm pretty sure we've won through most of them. Now everything's inspired by, or a copy of, or someone else's take on. But it is still the same idea. That would get boring. And when you get bored, what do? You play. You find things to entertain yourself. And maybe that's manipulation. Maybe that's controlling the government. Maybe that's whatever. You start to accept the idea that you're quote unquote better than. You start to take it for granted and you start to use it. And I'm pretty sure if any of us, werewolves, ratkin, whatever, were to live forever, we would do the exact same thing. Because in the end, it's just another means of survival. It's all just means of survival. Because our biggest enemy, this is a very controversial take, so I would request you do not take this elsewhere. We're going to keep the bond of rat secrecy here. Our biggest enemy is humans. Do I think they should all be killed? No, absolutely not. But they are destroying the world just as much or worse than the vampires are. They are afraid of what they don't understand, and they will either eat it, fuck it, or kill it. And I'm pretty sure they've tried all three, at least once. There are more of them, and they are constantly evolving and becoming more dangerous. So yeah, we could blame the vampires for everything, and maybe we'd succeed in getting rid of them all. But where would we be? The worm would still exist. It would still thrive. They are just a small percentage of what the worm represents. But we put so much emphasis on them, when really all they're doing is the same thing we are, surviving. In a world that hates them, fears them, and maybe in some parts envies them. Doesn't like what they have and wants it for themselves. That's how I can relate to them. It's dangerous being anything that isn't human now, and it's even dangerous being human now.
I'll maintain our rat secrecy bond here. It won't get out of here. Trust me. I know there'd be some interesting takes probably on that if they ever heard that. But
Well, some would take it the wrong way and think that I want the death of humans, so that I'm like the Fen fools. I'm not. I don't think everything needs to burn down. Believe me. I think where would we live if everything was burned down? How would we eat? How would we anything? We'd basically go back to being cave people. But I do think a certain amount of harmony needs to exist in the long term, a certain understanding or compromise between our two sides if we're going to have any kind of success in any of this.
it's just, I truly, I think I can get what you're saying. I understand. I'm getting some of it. No, I mean humans are, I guess, the most the most population of all of us, and they're the ones usually doing the most harm for the world. And you know, I don't know if they are the ones that make the worm spirits. The worm spirits just are drawn to them, but I just wish it was a little easier to decide where's the line on these leeches, because some of them are probably making things a hell of a lot worse for everyone involved, and we got to kill those ones. But then it's like, all right, where do we draw the line of like which ones do we kill, and then which ones do we keep around to work with? And I mean, these small guys, they don't sound too bad, but I don't know what they do on their own time. I mean, like, I don't know, like, what if one of them like Jack the Ripper or some shit,
I know. It's the risk you take being buddies with anyone. You can't know a person completely. You really can't. There's always going to be some small element of mystery. And we are so capable of so many things, guru, human, vampire alike, that all it takes is something to snap, or for some part in us to stop working, for us to become something truly terrifying and terrible. And that's not just wolves, rats, vampires. That's humans too. A little over, I want to say 2 decades ago, there were 6 billion people on the planet. We have surpassed 8 billion. 2 billion more people. And yes, some of them might be changing breeds or vampires, but I guarantee you it's not as many as you think. 8 billion. I can't even begin to comprehend that in scope. So what does that mean for Gaia? What does that mean for vampires? A lot more food. That's for damn sure. If anything, it's easier for them to survive when humans thrive.
Because that does make sense. And I mean, overpopulation just makes a lot of things, not good for Gaia. I know it's gonna sound a little cheesy, and my bad for that, but you're talking with these vampires. Do you at all see their humanity? Like, is there a person in there, or is it just like a blood bag just talking and looking to get his next fix, just mimicking a person?
Yes. I do see the person in them. I do see the regret when they mess up. I do see the pride when someone they care about succeeds. Their hearts have stopped beating, and that has a toll on anyone. Losing the the light of day has a toll on anyone. But I think vampires hold on as long as they can, just like we do. You know this concept of a Pirano or Hoglosk, yes?
Yeah.
Well, if death doesn't get you, one of those is, eventually, because this war is too hard for anybody to fight forever. I think it's kind of the same with them. They're holding on to whatever made them them for as long as possible before eventually it gives up and it's just a feeding frenzy. I would never sign up for that. I don't know anyone who'd be crazy enough to. That's so stupid. Usually they don't read the terms and conditions if they are wanting to sign up. They're thinking still short term in the grand scope of it all. They're not thinking about the boredom. They're not thinking about the endless desire for blood or whatever it is. They're not thinking about forgetting who they were. Do you remember who you were when you were 3 years old? Hell, do you remember who you were when you were 12 years old? Not with the same clarity as if you were in the moment. Imagine trying to remember who you were when you were 12 years old when you're 250 years old.
At this point, you're making me feel bad for him now. Like, at this point, it almost, I guess, more of a mercy to kill them when they get real old, because at that point they're not even the same person. You know, they're just a shell of what they once were.
Right. They break the natural order by not dying. Everything has to die. It's sad, but it's true. Some things have to die so other things can live. So that the world doesn't become shoulder to shoulder people all the way across its surface. But people are afraid of the idea of death. And vampires have escaped it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's, like you said, it's short term. People want to do that. That's how they would, be scared of the death. I think maybe a little bit different of a view on it. Been so close to it so many times, and apparently even did die, that is it weird to say that it doesn't scare me as much as it used to anymore? I mean, that's, you brush up against so many times, I think it just starts losing its charm. But if that's what, you never have to experience that on its own, I mean, that sounds kind of awful. I mean, living with every mistake you made forever sounds pretty fucking shitty.
There's a lot of discomfort in the knowledge that we have about the suffering of the world, about the dying off of life. But there is one thing we can take comfort on. We know, or can learn, that beyond a shadow of a doubt, death is not the end. Whether it be ancestral spirits, whether it be ghosts or whatever, whether it be the spirit wilds. It's not the end. It's what comes next. And yes, it's terrifying and it's unknown. I could never tell you what it's like to be a spirit, even though we're technically part spirit. I could never tell you what it's like in the land of the dead. But it's not the end. So what are you afraid of?
I mean, if it's for me, I mean, the main thing I'd be afraid of is just leaving all the people behind, Like, I got a lot of people that need me, I got my pack. They all need me, and not even just for my muscles anymore. I'm pretty sure if I were to actually croak, Delphine don't know what happened with her. And I got my kid. I want him actually to be able to grow up and see his dad. I can't just, don't want to leave him and he'll never know who his true father is.
Sure. Those are all very reasonable feelings. I think it's only natural to worry about what will happen in the wake of your departure. But you're not leaving them. You're moving ahead, and they will catch up with you eventually.
Knowing Delphine, she might drag my spirit back to this fucking place and give me a berating for moving on a little too quick. But
Well, that's a whole thing, yeah.
This plant talk of taking down the castle and figuring out what to do that turned to philosophy on death and life. It's I didn't expect that from you as much, but I guess it's what happens when you hang too much with vampires, huh? They get you all melancholic.
I don't think it's hanging out with them, because I really don't. But I think it's just considering what it must be like. Know thy enemy, right? So put yourself in their shoes, because then you can start to uncover their weaknesses. You can start to understand what scares them, etc., etc. Yes, you could know them for what allows you to beat them. But also, if you know them for what they are, yeah, you start to feel a little bit of empathy for them. You start to see why it's not all sunshine and roses. In fact, it's very much not sunshine. And some of them, this happened to them. Just like this happened to you. You weren't given a say. You weren't given a choice. You weren't asked, hey, do you want to be a werewolf and fight for Gaia and probably die before you can get a retirement check? You'd have said no. Some of them didn't get a choice. Some of them didn't get the whole story explained to them. Some of them even had it forced upon them. And yeah, it'd be easy to say like, okay, well then just kill yourself. It's not that easy. There's still that survival instinct in all of us. Vampire, guru, ratkin, human. That fear of what comes next, if anything. And knowing that, yeah, it's made me feel empathy for them, but it's also, like you said, made me realize we can't let them live too long. We can't let them have forever. Because that's a problem in its own right.
Sure, they might have a little bit of difficult time understanding that when they're faced with forever. They think they got immortal life, and we come up and say, hey, man, sorry, we're going to have to cut you off on that one for your own good. But
yeah, for the ones
that actually done for kindness.
For the ones that want forever, yeah, they're going to be the most problematic ones. But for the ones who just want a little bit more time, for the ones who are struggling, maybe they'll see reason. And if they don't, well, that's where tooth, claw, fang, all that good stuff comes into play.
Should have known coming in here talking to you about this would have left here with. Now I got a whole new level of problems to think about. If I gotta consider maybe some of these leeches might need to the smallest amount of a chance, or at least something, some kind of empathy for them.
Make no mistake, most of them are going to try to kill you. Out of fear, out of some sense of self-preservation, out of wrath. And when they do, you kill them right back. You absolutely do that. I'm not saying you should trust them. I'm not saying you should be their best friends. Far from it. I'm just saying some of them aren't so bad. At least not current.
I suppose your chosen few vampires can serve as I guess as a little example for me to learn from then, huh? To see what they do. If they can be at least remotely decent, maybe that's a good sign, huh? At least
Maybe.
something can happen.
Well, they could be huge fuck ups and need to die. But that's everyone.
Yeah, I mean, that was me like a couple of years ago, but hey, they gave me the chance, so.
Aren't you glad for that?
Yeah, I mean, would have saved me a lot of fucking headaches they did back then, though, but yeah, it is nice actually having friends and connections that aren't just based on me being an asshole to everyone.
And knowing his son?
I have to say yes to that. I mean, I just didn't want to get too sappy on you, but yeah, it's
And
being able
it's
to know
still
my son can
relevant.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
It is. It's just, yeah, I gotta at least look still a little tough in front of you, Skeets. Come on, I mean, I'm the strongest guy here, man. I gotta have the strength. But yeah, he's the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. He's my. I think about him all the time, and I'm hoping that where he's doing up there, he's doing great. I mean, he's got a grip like if he got his hands into your hair, it ain't coming out till he decides to let go.
I'm not good with kids. But anyway, the point is, you would never have known that if you hadn't been given that second chance. You hadn't been given an opportunity to change or prove or do differently. It's just the rat in me, man. I think of rats. I think like a rat, and I think, man, it really sucks out here. And I really wish more people knew that and would think differently, that rats aren't vermin trying to cause you problems. They're trying to survive in a world that does not cater too nicely to them. Just like every living thing and some unliving things.
The world definitely be a lot nicer if people had at least a smidgen more of empathy for everyone else around them, including, the unliving things having a little bit more empathy and, I guess, humanity in their soul, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, think about what I said. Think about maybe some of these strategies for dealing with your castle problem. Obviously, you got to talk it over with the group. You can't decide for yourself, although you could. I just don't know how well that would go. And maybe there's a way out of this very sticky situation you found yourself in. I mean, there is always a way out. The question is it a way that you're going to be responsible for, or is it a way that's going to be forced upon you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more of a we have options, but I mean, some of them just gonna be involved in how much we want to feel like there's blood in our hands and how much we're gonna feel responsible for what happened. And I mean, if I do think your idea would be the best one if we can just get them to fight each other and keep out, stay prepared and do what we got to do. That would be, I mean, the least amount of people getting hurt.
I know you love a good scrap, and I can promise you it will turn to you eventually. It's always the nature of things. When you run out of fighting one thing, you find something else to fight, especially when you're a predator. So, patience, my friend. Patience is key. You'll get your fight, don't you worry. Whether it's the leeches, whether it's the fen fools, whether it's fucking humans. It's coming.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing some thinking lately, and I really like fighting, but I think I just want to show that I can do something. It's that urge to fight. It's just that urge to get something fucking done, to make someone who's an asshole stop being an asshole, or someone ruining the place stop ruining things. So, I'm sure. Probably in the next 60 days, after the 60 days, the Fent Fool's gonna come up, and we're gonna have to beat their ass to show that they can't keep fucking with us, taking from us. So I'm sure it'll work itself out by then. If I don't have to go crawling through the streets to find, rogue vampires running from castle.
Yeah. Now, let's finish this game.
Forge
As-
looks over, like, disappointed, like, shit, he remembered the game. Fuck, I'm gonna lose.
As the two of you continue playing darts, what does he take away from this situation? What's going through his mind? What made the most impression upon him?
Forge is the most important, impactful thing onto him was that like hit of understanding and empathy for these monsters he was always told just give no thought, no quarter, nothing to, and they are just mindless, creatures of destruction. And now finally told more their side of the story and how, some of them are really underdogs like him, the one who he said he would support with working with Rat, that he would be the ones to help the downtrodden. And so it gives him a lot to think about of who exactly is the enemy now? Who does perhaps some of the people he want to destroy, maybe some of them deserve mercy, or maybe a second chance like him. Maybe not all the ones he thought are just too far gone are that far gone, and maybe they just need that moment. And he's also really happy that he has a plan now, something to bring back to Delphine to maybe help alleviate some of the stress on her, which had been pretty apparent on her.
Being a guru is to be burdened with immeasurable power, burdened with knowledge, burdened with fate. The beautiful thing about being a guru is you don't have to be burdened alone. That's why they have packs and tribes. That's why the way they're divided isn't by what they can do, isn't by the type of person they are necessarily. It's because they have something in common. All of them. How they view it might vary, but they do have that in common. That burden of power and knowledge. But even knowing all of that, even with all of that knowledge, it's still very easy to feel alone. Face to face with an immeasurable force that will not back down. We now transition to our final scene of this evening's story. Raymond, Gorn. One sticky situation to the next, and somehow there's this consistent theme. Possession. Whether it was Jordan being possessed by a bane of famine, whether it's Matthias and possibly you being possessed by Hashugut. You try so hard to find a solution that will do the least amount of damage to the innocent parties involved. And truthfully, that's something to be admired. Somebody who is so caring and considerate. Maybe a little bit selfish at times, but nothing's truly selfless if you really think about it. Doing good is not selfless because of the good feeling you get from it. But some solutions are just as simple as do what needs to be done and hope for the best, that it's not going to be too harmful in the process. Hope that you've prepared yourself for what's to come, good, bad, or otherwise. Hope that it's not too late. Now, Raymond, you and your pack have done the impossible. So the scholars would say, so the elders would say, so the stories would say. During a Fomori is unheard of. Because when they are a Fomori, it's too late. There's nothing left of the person inside. And yet somehow, with great sacrifice and cost, you did it. So rather than struggle with the idea that something is possible, you just have to do whatever it takes to make it possible. You have to look impossibility in the face and say no. This evening is one of those moments. As you and Anna Pelfrey arrive outside of the hotel and suites that has been the residing place of Matthias longer than it has been Hashugut, but Hashugut's settled in quite nicely over the past year. You know that Aspen and Jester, Charles and Artie will be coming back soon. You know that you've been given a little bit of leniency on the deadline you were given to have this solved. But if they were to come back and it still wasn't done, how much would that goodwill carry on? How much leniency would there be? After talking to spirits, talking to elders, talking to everyone you could possibly get the ear of, at least in the nearby area, you've been told there's only one way to fix Matthias. This is the only solution. And you will have to figure it out after that. So, as Anna parks the car and the two of you climb out, looking up at the looming building in front of you, your eyes drawn to that penthouse at the very top of the building, where you know destiny awaits. What are you thinking?
I'm honestly just nervous because Anna laid it out for me very plainly at the end of our conversation on what the solution is, what I need to do. But there's still steps that need to happen to get to that point, and taking this first step will dictate everything that happens after. Because this can either end very well or extremely poorly. And I have never been the best at portraying my feelings and convincing people. So this will be a challenge that hopefully I can overcome.
Anna looks to you. She gives you that laser-focused lawyer stare that seems to almost see through an individual as she says, "Are you ready for this?"
I mean, I'd be lying if I said yes. So I'm as ready as I'll ever be, but
That's
I
a good
just hope
start.
that it goes well.
So do I. And it can go well. Best case scenario, Matthias is going to need time to recover, to feel in control of himself again, to heal. And there are ways to do that available to the guru. He will carry scars, but that's not your fault, Raymond. You are doing the only thing that is going to fix him right now. And it's a very, very good thing that we even have the opportunity. Because most in his condition would have gone to the spiral by now. We are lucky. Now, there is a complication. As far as we know, Hashugut doesn't want to go. And he is going to fight. And usually in rites like this, the individual is incapacitated for the rite to take place. Because if they are fighting against it, if they get to escape, the rite won't succeed. Now, I can do a good amount of the preparation outside, but you will need to make sure he doesn't catch wind of it. Because he may struggle, he may resist, and there's going to be a certain amount of that anyway. But you need to make him either accept it or force him to sit still. Now, I remind you, he has all of the power Matthias had at his disposal. I wouldn't necessarily recommend a wrestling match. But maybe a little bit of trickery can convince him that he has done his time with Matthias, and it's time for him to go elsewhere. That there's no more good to come from his current host. Which is true. It walks that line of truth very carefully. But it could be just enough to get him to accept this rite and to move to you. But give him any reason to doubt, and we may not get another shot at it.
I mean, I'm pretty good at stretching the truth, but if I do have to lie to him to try to convince him, it's not going to work out well.
Do you believe he needs to leave Matthias?
I do.
Do you believe he's doing any good in Matthias's body?
No.
Then hold on to that. Hold on to that belief. You don't have to say that you would be happy for him to be inside of you. Very few individuals are. It's often uncomfortable. But everything before that is true. You just have to make him see that it's true.
I'll just take a deep breath, hold it for a couple seconds, and exhale. I mean, I guess let's just get started. Because the more I sit here, the more I think about it. It's not going to help.
All right. You head in through the luxurious lobby, known to be trod by dignitaries, paragons of business, kings of industry, and one possessed guru. You take the long elevator ride up to the penthouse, and as you enter into the small carpeted hallway that leads to the suites, Anna stops just outside of the elevator and starts pulling out ritualistic implements from her briefcase. She looks to you. Good luck.
Thanks.
I need at least 10 minutes.
I'll do what I can.
You can do more than you think.
Internally, I'll just think, man, I hope so.
Okay. So as you approach the door that when you last visited led to one of the most frustrating and irritating conversations, where you were almost immediately put on the defensive and stayed that way for a good portion of the conversation before walking out in frustration. And you knock. After a few moments, the door opens and there stands the suited man, the shell, known as Matthias Morningkill. But based off of the serpentine smile and the slight glow to his eyes, he says, "Back for more, are you, Raymond?"
Back for hopefully a different conversation this time.
See. Well, come in. And he steps back from the door, allowing you to walk in. Everything seems almost exactly as it was last time you were here. Very little seems to change between visits. Why should it? He walks over to the cafe table with the two chairs overlooking the city. He sits down in the chairs, in one of the chairs, and looks out. You can see that there's a bottle of scotch and two glasses, as if he was expecting company. Have you noticed anything different lately?
Walking over to the set of chairs and taking the spot next to Hashugut and looking out over the city. Different in what way? Like the city?
Yes, the city.
It's been a little bit more rowdy than it usually has been.
That's a word for it. I've noticed the air has grown quite smoky as of late. I love the smell of smoke.
I'm assuming this change is your doing?
Surprisingly, no. I'm just getting to reap the rewards of it.
And what rewards would that be?
Oh, Raymond, you and I both know what I want. I want the city to burn, and now it has begun, and it's only a matter of time.
I mean, a couple buildings burning here or there isn't uncommon in the city. I mean, unless you're the one doing the burning, what difference does it make?
I think you shouldn't downplay the effect that it's having. The players involved, the destruction. It's a pity, really, because I see the potential the city has. I see all that could become of it. But I see those resistant to change. I see those unwilling to reap the consequences that they have brought upon themselves. It wasn't done to them. They did it. They voted for it. Or didn't vote at all and stood on the sidelines and watched it happen. They built it. They sapped up every last bit of it, and then they left it to burn or rot. They don't need the worm. They are the worm. And it's sad because they don't have to be. No one is forcing them to be, not universally. They are asking for it, welcoming it. Do you accept your consequences, Raymond?
Over time, there's been a lot of consequences that have laid at my feet. And it took a while to really kind of think about it, but I think I am starting to accept the consequences that my actions and my decisions have made.
We'll see. See, one could say what happened to your friend was a consequence of you joining into a force that thinks its job is to police the world, that thinks it should tell other societies how to live, that it eats away at culture and history. And so doing so welcomed in hunger, endless hunger. But I'm not going to say that. I think that would be cruel. I think that what happened was terrible. But you knew what you were supposed to do to fix it. And those were consequences you couldn't abide.
I mean, you're right. I couldn't accept the decision or the choice right in front of my face. And I searched and I searched to try to find something different, to come up with a happy ending for everyone. But in the end, I didn't succeed. I succeeded in saving my friend, but that happy ending was a pipe dream. It's not something that can truly happen, or if it does, it happens in a 1 in a million chance.
You accept what's about to happen?
That depends what's about to happen. What do you think is about to happen?
Roll me a manipulation and composure.
What rage am I at?
Definitely 2.
Two successes.
He just stares at you. What do you think's about to happen?
I mean, I hope that whatever will happen at least it'll end good for at least everyone. But I know that's not entirely true, because you don't really want to leave Matthias. I mean, I think that deep down, being inside of him is tiresome. It's fun. The money you have, the power you can display, the connections you can move with a wave of your hand, but what you have right now isn't what like you had before. And I feel like there's something that's missing and that you're searching for. And then maybe I can help you figure that out. Help you find that missing piece.
And what's that? I have money, I have influence, I have power. I can buy anything I want. What could you possibly help me with that you haven't already?
A semblance of peace. Because, I mean, this entire time, this money that you can buy whatever you want with, this power that you have, I mean, you're still angry. You're still trying to get back at Aspen. You're still rearing over the fact that you don't have a friend anymore. And you say that you don't, but I still feel like that's not true. There's still something down there. That feeling, that connection, that friendship that you used to have. A close friend, like, it's gone. Matthias isn't that. Matthias is a tool that you're using to play around with and have fun.
You tried so hard to resist for so long. It was irritating, really, because I didn't ask to be here. It's just was where I was unceremoniously yeeted to. Although I think Matthias is going to wake up to a world that he is going to absolutely hate. Can you give me that, Raymond? Can you give me what you think I crave so deeply? And can you say it honestly?
The last time we talked, I was thinking basically that you were a bane that needed to be exercised, something that needed to be dealt with, a problem that needed a solution. But I've
Well, I'm a
changed my
bane.
thought a little bit.
I'm just a bane to Aspen, and only Aspen.
You may think that, but you're a spirit, and you're the farthest thing from a bane. Because if you were a bane, then Matthias would have deteriorated a lot faster than what he has been.
You're not wrong. I don't want to be a dancer. I don't want to join them. But I also can't let this insult stand. Imagine And I don't think it'll be that hard for you. Having everything you cared about, the one person you loved, taken from you by another, a shrew of a woman who demands control, just like her beautiful patron dictates. She knew what she was doing when she told him it was the only way. How am I supposed to be okay with that? How am I supposed to forgive that when I know she's not sorry and she never will be? She's only sorry because it's happening to someone she cares about.
I mean, you're right. You have every right to be angry. You have every right to hold on to this. And yeah, at this point, she has probably zero intention of forgiving you for what you did to her mentor, or even apologizing for what she did to you with Lucas. But the thing is, there will be a time where that anger will become something more understandable, and maybe you can figure out how to express it in a different way. And if you're given the chance to do that, and you're given the chance to not be consumed by the anger, in time you can at least, I'm not saying forgive her, but at least let it go.
Raymond, give me a charisma and persuasion roll.
Does my negotiation specialty come into play?
Yes.
I'm going to use a willpower. That is 6 with a crit.
Don't you mean we? 'Cause that's what's about to happen, isn't it? We are going to have to do all those things. But are we going to do it together? Or am I getting a new meat puppet?
Yes, it'll be we. And I'm willing to help you with this. I'm willing to help you figure this out. Because, I mean, I don't really want to be a puppet. And I know that you need help with this. And I'm willing to offer that help.
Does Raymond truly believe that?
At this point, yeah.
Okay. All right. We're about to have a wild adventure, you and I. Besides, and he looks at the watch on his wrist. About time. And with that, the door opens and Anna walks in. Hello, Hashugut. I'd like to see Matthias, please. Hashugut not breaking his eye contact from you. Come and get him. She then reveals a brand, red hot, that she moves forward. Hashugut reaches up and starts unbuttoning the suit. No need to ruin more clothing for this. And he pulls aside, revealing the area just over the heart of Matthias. So this is how this is going to work. Since an NPC is doing the right, you are going to roll for them. You have 9 dice. 3 of them are rage.
I did want to do just a slight thing before Anna
Sure.
like does the brand, because he's still locking eyes with me.
Yep.
I want to reach out my hand that is opposite from the one that he's, obviously holding a shirt, to like give him, like offer my hand in a handshake and say, I truly am trying to help you, and I hope that you accept it. And I hope that he reciprocates the handshake.
Using your charisma and persuasion from before, I will allow it. As he takes your hand and gives it a shake, you now may roll 10 dice, with 3 of them rage.
Am I allowed to use willpower on these rolls?
I'll say yes, because she does have willpower.
Six successes.
As she presses the brand into the chest of the body of Matthias, not breaking eye contact, you see him start to hiss and then start to scream. And at a moment, his head snaps back as he screams for dear life at the burning pressing against his chest. Raymond, and possibly what will be the most important role of this entire event, I need Raymond to make a composure and resolve check. As Hashugut flows into him.
Five successes.
Images start to flash through your mind. A city on fire. A small, blonde-haired woman at the center of it all. Hatred. Anger. Sadness. Fear. Desperation. As you feel your chest ache and swell, almost as if something is moving away in, like another organ is entering into your body or being forced in. It's uncomfortable. And you will take 2 superficial willpower damage and 1 superficial physical damage as you can feel the brand on your arm start to burn. But as those images flash through your head, eventually it fades. You can feel control of your fingers. You can feel control of your breathing. And in your mind, you hear,
"Hello, friendy went."
and this is where our story comes to a close this evening. But not without one last scene. In our final scene of this season of Hellhounds, we see the city of Tampa. We see the growing fires throughout different locations all around the city burn. We see the black smoke rising into the sky, coming from separate locations, separate points throughout the city. The smoke continues to coalesce, coming together. It drifts upward and starts to spread out, blocking the sun, the moon, even the stars. And at the epicenter of all of this coalesced smoke, a spiral forms. This is where our season of Hellhounds comes to a close. Thank you so much to these amazing players. Thank you to everyone watching at home. Go follow St. Pete by Night on all of the social media you see listed down below. Join our community by following that Discord link. And if you really like what you see, sign up for our Ko-fi for as low as $5 a month, where you can get access to all kinds of behind-the-scenes features, including the Rosebud Thorns for this very session. As a reminder, we are off for the next 2 weeks, but there is still an episode of Red Tide Rising before we're truly gone. So go check that out on Sunday. But we will be back with more Hellhounds after this vacation break. For these amazing players, I'm Kent. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.